just a couple weeks ago, Inflation Reduction Act passed. Seemed to be about everything except for inflation reduction in some people's opinions. But definitely some interesting things on the renewables side, and specifically with carbon capture. I'll read off some stats here. Incentives for industrial and power generation facilities increased from $50 per ton of storage to $85 per ton of storage, and then for utilization, $35 to $60 per ton, and then for the capture facilities, increased from $50 per ton for storage to $180 per storage, which is more than triple. Then incentives increased from $50 to $130 for utilization. So still a big jump there. You can also get direct cash credits. There's all sorts of things going on with this, but what does that mean for the land space with renewables?
Got so much.
It means that people.
I mean, it's economic. We can all talk about this, but
it's all
you triple there's so much investment. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, there's a lot of land work involved with it. I mean, when you talk about the carbon space, you're not just talking about a 700 acre solar farm. You're talking about tens of thousands of acres, hundreds of landowners, pipelines. It's all land related activity, which is really exciting for us. And it's not specifically in one location. I mean, you're looking at it from the Midwest to out in the West to Texas. It's exciting to see all that new activity. And as we've talked before, that carbon space seems to be the most equitable deal towards our traditional oil and gas land work. So it's opening up not new basins, but new areas for us, a place that we can expand to. I think there's only going to be growth with it. And yes, you're right. They should have called it something else, like the Non-Inflation Reduction Act. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of folks out there with a lot of capital behind them who are going to be expanding. So it's a exciting time for us to get into that, or to be involved in that.
Well,
I was going to say, it just expanded the credits, right? The carbon credits too. I mean, that's as soon as that thing was passed, I think I mean, it was no less than 10 phone calls on new projects from wind companies, solar companies. I think Brent and Steve got carbon capture companies are wanting to do carbon capture, and it's pretty exciting because I'll say this: half of them went, oh, like for solar, you need to do a lot of mineral work as well. So a lot of mineral title. They say, oh, you do mineral title too? So they don't really, that industry doesn't know what resources are out there for them. So it's exciting to talk to them about those things and tell them our process and that we've done it before. They're also astonished that we've done it. We've been doing it long enough to where we've got a pretty good handle on what needs to be done and what they're looking for. And in some cases, a better idea than what they have. So that part of it is exciting for me, just from the teaching experience of what little I know about it in the few short years that we've kind of been in this space. It's pretty cool. And there's a lot of opportunities out there for not only a land company like us, but for these developers.
What's fun for me is I reached out to a guy, I won't say what company or whatever, last week, and we got on the phone, and we were on the phone for about 45 minutes, and he owns a camp literally a mile away from our family's camp up in Clarion, PA. And it's been a while since I've actually had new conversations with people in the oil and gas space. You almost start to know everybody. So it's been fun for me reaching out and actually meeting new people and seeing what they're doing. And, it opens up a whole new space as I get older in my life to, advance not just Dudley, but your personal relationships, and really missing those old BD days of getting to know people really well.
And Steve is
In a
getting
new conversation.
older in his life. I mean,
Look at
he's getting
it's
much
coming.
older in his life. Look at that.
Hmm. The last 7 years, he's aged maybe 14.
It's the daughters, man. There's 3 daughters. They'll really get you.
You're starting to age in dog years.
Now, don't show me a Hallmark, like any kind of Hallmark video. I might start crying. So it's easy.
Don't watch ET again.
Oh, it'll get you. No, that's the fun part. I mean, it's we're landmen take for granted how much they really know and where their skills can be applied, and it's just exciting for opportunities to showcase what a landman can do and to have value in what our people do and to help people. You know, hey, there's a better way of doing this. There's an efficient way of doing this. Let me share with you what we're doing. Hire us or not, let's talk about, you know, what's needed and what goes into this, and whether someone hires you or not, you're able to help them, you know, educate them, help them have a better understanding of what they need to do, what's available to them, you know, what the steps are and what the process is, and that's the cool thing about being a landman. You know, it's telling people what you do. We think, you know, it's a small circle. To Steve's point, in the land business, if you're around long enough, you recognize somebody. You recognize just about everybody you see. But to be out into a different space is really cool.